Good morning to you all. Myself Shreya, and today we are going to study about simple equations. Now, what we are going to do first is that we are going to play a game. Yes, a game. And as you know it before, that most of the games need at least 2 players. So I also need one more for my help. So can someone help me please? Alright, she is here for that. Now what we are going to do is that I am going to tell her a set of operations and let us just write it down so that you can be clear. So this game first of all is known as mind reading game. So this game is known as mind reading game, and let me just give you a demo of that. Alright, so think of a number. Yeah. Multiply it by 2. Yeah. Then you have to add 6 to it. Interesting, right? Add 6 to it. Yeah. Okay, divided by 2. Interesting. Yeah. Divided, add 4 to it. Yeah. Now after all these set of operations, I am now only going to know your result which you had got. So tell me your result.
I had gotten, let me think. Yeah, 11.
Okay, so she had got her answer as 11. So that simply means that the number which she had thinked of is going to be, alright, 4. Correct! You see how interesting it is? Okay, so let me just put down the steps as we move on. So firstly, think of any number which you want, any. Yeah. Think. Yeah. Good. And then multiply it by 2. Yeah. Done? Yeah. After this, add 6 to it. Then divide it by 2.
Yeah, done.
And then add 4 to it.
Done.
Tell me your result.
9.
Alright, the number 9, which means you have thought of a number as, alright, 2. Correct. So as you see, this is lots of fun, right? Okay, let us do it one last time so that we can see that this trick works really for any number, even if you will take the fractions and decimals, right? Okay, think of a number. Okay, multiply it by 2.
Yeah.
Very nice. Then add 6 to it.
Yeah.
Divide it by 2.
Yeah.
At the last, you are supposed to add 4 to it.
Yeah.
Tell me your result.
13.
Alright, so the number she had got is 13. So, she must have thought of the number 6. Correct. You see how interesting it is, right? So, now, thank you for helping us. Bye.
Bye.
Now, let us understand what I have done to get to know the number she had thinked of. So, she had thinked of a number. Let's go step by step. So, she had thinked of a number. Now, I don't know the number. She could think of any number, right? Like the 2, 6, 9, even the with the help of variable. Alright? So, variable is just a quantity which we don't know and it can vary in its value. And we usually use letters. Yes, the English letters such like A, B, C, D, right? To represent a number. For example, the most popular letter is X. Now, this X can take its value as 4 sometimes or 1 by 2. If you want, this X can take some negative values such like -2, alright? And it can also take some decimal values like 4.869, right? And then it can take like 99 and so on. So as you see that this letter X can represent any number which you want. So these are the variables. Can you just name some very popular variables? X, N, Y, P and a lot. Just all the alphabets you can use. Even you can use some symbols such like hashtag, star and etc. as a variable. But mostly we use alphabets, English alphabets, right, to represent anything. And most popularly the small or the lowercase alphabets we use. Now I hope that these variables are super duper clear to you. Now what we had seen that she had think of a number, so let us take it as X. She can think of any number, right? I don't know the number, so I'm going to represent it by the X. Next, she had multiplied by 2. Oh my god! Now, how can I multiply an alphabet with a number? Interesting, right? So, this is what this all is about. So, what you're going to do is that you're going to simply represent it. Alright? So, how are you going to represent? You're going to simply write it as 2 into X, getting a little complicated, X. Actually, in the simple way, you can write it as 2X. Now, why? Here you see that a number, a constant, okay, a constant, let me tell you the constant in just a bit. Okay, so constant is written by a variable, alright? Written with a variable, alright? So let us see what is constant. Now, a constant is something which has a, definite value. So, something which has a definite value. For example, like 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, I am writing the table of 2. And you can take 4.8976 or 3 by 4 or 3/4 or let's say -20 and so on. Now, as you can see, this number 2 is always going to represent 2, not 4, not 6, right? It is always going to represent 2. But the X can represent all the values which you want. So this is the major difference between a constant and a variable. So constant is going to have a definite fixed value, but a variable is not going to have such like that. So I hope it is super duper clear. So when a constant, as you can see here in this case 2x, so 2 here is the constant, okay. So as you see, so 2 here is the constant and x here is the variable. So when a constant and a variable is written together, it means that we are multiplying. Now how? Because multiplication is taken as a default operation. Yes, a default operation. So a default operation means that you can just, if something, if a constant and a variable is written together and no sign is in between, we can simply understand, we can safely conclude that the multiplication is going to happen between the two. Alright? Clear? Now let us move on. So here we see that we have got 2x. Now after this, now I asked her to add 6 to it. So that means we are going to add 6 to 2x. So 2x plus 6. Okay. Now as you see, I can't add 6 to x or 2, right? If I'm going to do that, so I'm going to end up with a wrong answer. So don't mix up the variables and the constants. You can't add 6 to it right now because as you see here is a variable, right? So you can't mix up the variables and the constant. You need to treat both separately, alright? So don't get mixed up. And after this, you have to divide it by 2. Now, how do I divide this by 2? Let us see. So, for showing it, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write it as 2x plus 6 divided by 2. Now, do you think that I can just divide this 6 by 2 or divide this 2 by 2? Of course no, because there is an addition sign between. So I am not going to mix my constant and the constant and the variables together, right? After this, as you see, this is done. Now at the last, I had asked her to simply add 4 to it, right? So we are supposed to add 4 to this whole thing which we had got, okay? So if I'm going to add 4 to it, 2x plus 6 by 2, add 4 to it, what do we get? We don't know the answer till now. Okay, so as you see, something very interesting, we had got 2x plus 6 by 2 added to 4. A little complicated seems to be, but it is not. Actually, just see what is happening here. Now I think this is the best example for understanding expressions. Now what are expressions? Not the English expressions like happy, sad or anything else, but they are kind of related to that. Now the word expression in the English, it means the you can say the feelings, right, which we express, such like happiness, sadness, angry, right? So in the English, like the expression express or tells us something, in the mathematics the expression tells us something. Yes, it tells us something. Okay, let's just understand it in a simpler manner. So this is an expression, alright? So this is an expression. Now what is an expression? A combination, let me just write it down. a combination of a variable constant, and mathematical operator is called as an expression. So this whole thing which you see here is an expression. Okay, so now what does this whole definition of expression means? So combination of a variable constant and a mathematical operator is called as expression. Now here the expression tells us, in this case the expression tells us that 2x is added to 6 divided by 2, that whole thing is added to 4, right? So this is the expression here, in which the variable x and some constants like 2, 6, 4 are connected with some mathematical operators, that in this case are division, addition and multiplication, right? So this whole thing is the expression. I hope that it is super duper clear to you. Next, how do I get the answer? Okay, so she had told me at the last that the answer is 9, okay? So the answer is 9, so let us take it that. So that simply means, if I am going to just write it here, so that is 2x plus 6 divided by 2 added to 4 is going to give me, 9, right? So let me just put here 9. Okay, so this whole thing is just going to give me 9. Now how do I get to know the value of x? This is known as solving an equation. But what I think is that we should just practice a little bit of how to form the expressions, okay? So that is the main thing. So if you're going to get any word problem, or in the real life if you're going to get anything, so you can make some expressions to get a formula, to get a rule of it, okay? Let us understand by simple examples. So right now we are going to solve this whole equation in just a bit. But right now let us understand how to make an expression. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to rub this board so that we can see some beautiful examples. So I am now going to rub all of these. You know, at the last you will be able to do the same thing which I did with your friend. So as you can see, I rubbed it all. Now let us have a look to how to form an expression. So let's take a real life case, okay? A real life example. So let's take a boy named John. So here what happens is John has some number of boxes, okay? So John has some number of box and in each box he fills 4 oranges. What is the total number of oranges? Okay, so here we need to find the total number of oranges. So John has some number of boxes. Now we don't know number of boxes, right? It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be any number, right? So what we are going to do here? Using variable, right? We need to use a variable. So let the number of box be, let's say x, okay, our most popular one. Or can we use b as well? We can use any variable, right? We are clear about this. So we can use b, we can use p, we can use x and y and all the variables which you want. So let's use x in this case. So then he fills, in each box, he fills 4 oranges. That simply means that the number of boxes into 4 is going to give me the answer. Why? Very simple. So 4 is going to be repeatedly added, right? And multiplication is a repeated addition. Simple. So the expression is going to be, or the total number of oranges is going to be 4x, or 4 into x. We have seen multiplication is the default operation. So we can simply and safely write it as 4x. Now this is going to tell us the total number of oranges. Now no matter how many boxes are going to be there, I have this little formula for me, so that I can plug in any constant for the x, and I can get my total number of oranges, right? So that simply means, as you see, that let's take first day. John has 4 boxes. So what I'm going to do? Number of boxes is x. Just plug in the value 4. 4 into 4, 16. 16 oranges. In the next day or the second day, he had, let's say, 8 boxes. So that is going to be plug the value here. X is equal to 8. So 4 into 8, that is going to be 32. Alright. So that is how simple it is. I have got a permanent formula so that I can calculate the number of oranges in any amount of boxes, right? So it is clear right now. You know that this thing, these variables, constants and all of this, these are a lot special, and because of this there is a separate branch in mathematics called algebra, and in the algebra it is like a branch of mathematics which studies about the variables, constants and all. Right. So these all things are just included in algebra. So simple equation, this is like a subtopic of the algebra, as you see. Now let us see some more examples, and let us see how geometry uses algebra, right? Okay, so some very simple examples. Alright, we are going to take boundary, right? So that means if I will have a square, what will be the permanent formula for me to take the perimeter? Let us say that the side of the square is, let us represent it by S. So what will be the perimeter? Simple, right? So the perimeter is going to be S plus S plus S plus S, as there is repeated addition. As you see, why I am adding S 4 times? Because I need the total length. So that means S plus S plus S plus S, right? That is going to be here. So that means as a repeated addition is happening, so that means it is going to be 4S. So this is going to be the formula, little formula for me to take out the perimeter of any square I want. So if the side length of this square is, let's say, 4 units, so I am just going to multiply it by 4 into 4 into 4 16, right? And I can again take any value for S. Let's take it 12. So that means the answer is going to be 48. So as simple as that, right? Now we are also going to see how to take the perimeter, area. They all are related to algebra and they uses the algebra in our next video. And also we are going to see that how the geometry uses algebra a lot. Simplify to just show, or you can say generalize its formulae, right? So we are going to see it all in our next video. So for now, thank you and have a nice day ahead. If you want any improvement in me, so you can comment it in the comment box. Thank you.